and Android.
Now at 9, 15 semi-trailers and their contents destroyed as fire breaks out at a tire recycling business in Nevada for the second time in under a month. Plus, summer lawn care is nonstop, even for cemetery crews. We dig into what goes into the upkeep.
The Department of Health and Human Services is cutting $500 million in funding for vaccines. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the second time in less than a month, a fire breaks out at David's Tire Recycling in Nevada. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Crews responded to the fire at around 2 this morning after smoke was spotted at the business on North Click Street. Drivers were asked to avoid the area. No word on the cause of the fire. 15 semi-trailers and their contents were destroyed in the fire. Firefighters from Nevada, Deerfield, Milo, Walker, Branaugh, Lamar, and El Dorado Springs contained the blaze by 7 a.m. Just a few weeks ago, on July 19th, firefighters responded to another fire at the same site. Now, this is video from that fire. The first fire started near the machines used to shred old tires, and you can find the latest details on this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. First responders held an emergency response training session today at the Girard Fire Department. Members of the fire department, along with the Crawford County Emergency Management Agency, trained first responders in how to deal with ammonia-based emergencies. Ammonia can be dangerous in many ways, ranging from irritation and burns to breathing problems and even some long-term impacts. Responders learned ways to safely deal with ammonia in gas and liquid forms.
So it's something that is produced in factories, moves across our roads, and is used in our local communities. So we want responders to be familiar with it so that when an incident occurs, they're comfortable, they're familiar with the chemical, they're comfortable with some of its chemical physical properties, and it'll help them respond more efficiently, effectively, and safely.
The course covered a mix of lectures, skill stations, case studies, tabletop scenarios, and hands-on training. Well, a serious car crash in Jasper County takes out power lines and poles. The crash happened about 8 a.m. near Golden City. Authorities say it involved a car and a pickup. The crash took down power poles and lines in all 4 directions, creating an even more dangerous situation. Power lines fell across the car with the injured driver still inside. Barton County Electric had to shut off electricity to the area, and crews managed to remove the driver of the car, who was then flown by helicopter to an area hospital. The driver of the truck left the vehicle on his own and refused further medical attention. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures are now dropping down through the lower 80s. Tonight we're going to get down into the mid 70s to lower 70s, so another average night for us. We did have a few showers in the area, but you can see we just have mostly cloudy skies, or a line of clouds that are moving along I-49. Now the rest of us are going to stay pretty clear until Thursday morning. By 5 a.m. we're going to have some storm potential moving down through Kansas City into southeastern Kansas. Now, these are going to continue to extend over to the Missouri side, so we could get some widespread thunderstorms and showers through the morning hours on Thursday, about 7:30 to 10 out in the Joplin area. Those are going to continue to push further south by early afternoon. We also have a couple of heat advisories for Nowata and Washington County through Thursday and Friday due to the high heat indices, but I'll have those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, during the summer, it can feel like lawn care is never ending, and that's also true for cemetery grounds crews. KOAM's Samantha Walker met with a crew in Coffeyville to learn what goes into the upkeep.
Not something that when you're a small child, you're like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be the caretaker of a cemetery. It's actually something that just divinely happens.
Well, a cemetery groundskeeper, also known as a sexton, may not be a well-known job. It's a necessary one nonetheless. A job Cameron Brinker has been doing in Coffeyville for more than 3 years.
There has been nothing that has brought me more joy and honor than to serve my community by loving and protecting their families and their loved ones that are laid to rest out here.
The upkeep of Coffeyville's 3 cemeteries is a big job for Brinker and his crews during the summer, when they're tasked with handling more than 20,000 plots. One cemetery can take a fully staffed crew up to a week and a half to complete. This includes mowing, weed eating, and clearing headstones of grass and dirt. And before they finish one, another cemetery will already have grass and weeds that need addressed.
And there's always issues, because it's life. There are always issues with staffing, and then weather will always play a factor.
But even if they're short-staffed or equipment is broken, they'll still be out there doing their best.
We are out here day in, day out, no matter what the temperatures are. And the resting place of your loved ones is at the forefront of our hearts and minds. We firmly believe that we are the guardians and the protectors of the deceased and the families that still mourn them.
Cemetery staff say they understand how important it is to place items at graves to remember your loved ones.
Because that is part of the grieving process, and that is something that we encourage. That has been part of human culture since the dawn of time.
But they add one way you can help during the summer as they mow and weed eat is to be mindful of how much you have placed.
By all means, decorate your loved one's grave. It does, however, make it a tad bit easier on us if decorations can be kept to a respectful minimum.
No matter what, though, the crew is ready to work in the hot temperatures to make sure every grave is taken care of.
It is our greatest honor to always keep up, to adapt and overcome no matter what, and I can guarantee you that these crews will always be working out here for the greater good of this community.
Reporting in Coffeyville, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The cemetery grounds crews say they welcome feedback on their work and encourage the community to reach out if they have any comments, questions, or concerns. Well, coming up, breaking her silence.
An alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein breaking her silence as the White House continues to navigate the controversy. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
But up first, watch your step outdoors. It's Copperhead season in southwest Missouri.
Fox.
Warmer temperatures and high humidity are both leading the spike of tick bites in the U.S. The number of people needing emergency care for tick bites has reached its highest level in 8 years. And data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reveals a continuing rise in reported cases of Lyme disease. Experts say warmer temperatures due to climate change are contributing to the issue. Ticks are also popping up in more areas, including places where people are not familiar with their risk. Experts say those higher temperatures are also leading to more disease transmission through mosquitoes, which can carry illnesses like West Nile and malaria. Well, they are a slithery, scaly, and sometimes scary sign that summer is coming to an end and fall is just around the corner. Garrett Hamilton tells us why people are seeing more copperheads this time of year.
This is a model of the most venomous snake in the Ozarks. This is a copperhead snake. But as the season changes from summer to fall, you'll start to see more of the young ones emerging.
Mating season for copperheads runs mid-spring through mid-summer, and right now is when most mothers are giving birth. Yes, copperheads give live birth, which is why you may be seeing more of them right now.
As long as you leave a snake alone, including copperheads, or venomous snakes, or other wildlife, they're going to leave you alone too.
And forget the myth that young copperheads are more dangerous than adults.
There is this ongoing urban legend that young copperheads are more venomous than adult copperheads. That is not true.
But that doesn't mean they are any less dangerous. Any copperhead bite can cause serious health issues. The best way to avoid a bite? Leave the snakes alone.
If you ever hear about somebody being bitten more than once by a copperhead, usually that means that person was trying to catch the copperhead. It strikes its victim, pumps it with venom, and then releases.
Skaliski says copperheads are not an aggressive snake. They also have very little to do with their young once they are born, and will hide from humans as much as possible.
The reason that copperheads strike humans is that they feel threatened. But with humans, it's a self-defense mechanism.
Well, another common rumor about young copperheads, they like to hide under anything left out in your yard. And this is partially true, but they prefer to hide under things like rocks and wood piles. So the best way to keep copperheads away from your house, make sure to clear your yard of any loose debris. Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, from higher pay to 4-day weeks, see how Arkansas schools are getting creative to get teachers in the classroom.
Yards.
We have started to really warm up today. We were in the 90s again, but we're going to continue to get into the upper 90s for the next couple of days, and we'll be dodging some showers. Let's go ahead and take a look outside right now, downtown Joplin. From the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we have some partly cloudy skies still in the Joplin area, but our showers are out of the area, so we're looking pretty good for the rest of the night tonight. Now, temperatures did get up to the mid-90s. This was a little bit lower than expected because we did have some showers that made it all the way to Joplin to cool us off for the afternoon. But our low this morning was just about 71 degrees, so it is still slightly above average today. Now, we are going to continue that warm up as we head through Thursday and Friday, which is our hottest day. We already have a couple of heat advisories out there in Nowata and Washington County in Oklahoma. Now, likely we'll see some heat advisories be issued for southeastern Kansas, maybe even further into Oklahoma for Thursday as well as Friday. Now, Friday, all of us are going to likely see heat advisories, if not excessive heat warnings, for the Missouri and Arkansas side. But Thursday, they're staying a little bit cooler than the western counties. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at current radar. We've got those clouds that are moving through and out towards the east following the showers we saw earlier today. Now, as we continue to make our way through Thursday morning, we're going to see shower chances already picking up. You can see winds gusting 25 to even pushing up to 30 miles per hour. And those showers and isolated thunderstorms, they're going to be moving in around 4 to 5 a.m. in our northern counties, hitting southeastern Kansas first and then moving in along I-44 and north through the rest of the morning. Now, by about 10 to 11, all these showers are pushing out towards the southeast, still lingering though, and we might see a couple more pop-up storms there in the afternoon. You can see out near Yates Center as well in southeastern Kansas. Now, winds are still going to be gusting pretty strong all the way until Friday. Now, for Friday, we're looking good, sunny skies, not expecting any rain chances until Saturday. We're going to have hit and miss showers, hit and miss thunderstorms on Saturday and even on Sunday as well. And then a front starts to move through Sunday evening, a cold front that's going to drop our temperatures for Monday and Tuesday. But unfortunately, we do have a couple more hot days to get through. In fact, the hottest days on the forecast. Now, actual temperatures on Thursday, mid-90s, but it's going to feel like upper 90s, Missouri and Arkansas, and then low hundreds out there in southeastern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma, which is why we'll likely see a couple more heat advisories issued once we get into Thursday morning. Now, by Friday, we are all seeing high heat index values from 102 out in the eastern counties to 107 out towards the west. So we are seeing pretty extreme heat. As you can see, it's going to be a very high heat risk for the area on Friday. Now, isolated storm chances Saturday, Sunday. Cold front comes through Monday morning, drops our temperatures for the next couple of days, and then we're back to a warm up by next week.
All right. Well, I don't think I want another warm up, but I don't see much of a cool down in that.
Well, down to low 90s, back down to average.
Okay, well, I guess we'll take it. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Access Family Care hosted a community free lunch today. Visitors could come out and grab free hot dogs, a drink, and chips. The care provider hosts the event to mark National Health Center Week. The event also provides a great way to show the community Access helps with more than just medical, dental, and mental health care.
Be here. Of course, we provide medical, dental, and behavioral health care for our patients, but we also want them to know that we're here to serve them for more than just that. You know, we're a part of the community. We want to be there for our communities, like I said, and all of our locations, so not just Joplin.
Access Family will be doing events like this throughout the month. Well, coming up, as the fall semester nears, educators are still in high demand. See how Arkansas education officials are working to attract more teachers to the natural state. That story next.
And KOAM News Now, supporting the 4 states' first responders.
The new school year is just days away, with some Arkansas schools opening next week. As Chris Bryant reports, some schools in the Natural State are still scrambling to get teachers in the classroom.
You can see by this map that in north central Arkansas, districts have a moderate to high need when it comes to needing educators for the upcoming school year. Now, those areas in yellow, those are the moderate areas. That's middle school science, ELA, and social studies being in that zone, with, secondary science, foreign language, and secondary mathematics being in the high levels or the red areas.
Well, I've heard a lot of issues this year with filling all of the positions for sure. And Arkansas has several programs through the Department of Education to try to get teachers in a non-traditional way.
One way the state is working to attract teachers is to increase their salaries with a merit-based bonus system. Teachers can earn up to $10,000 with the program, and in 2024, the program paid nearly 3,000 teachers an average of $3,300.
In Arkansas, we were blessed to get starting pay at $50,000 for our incoming teachers. But unfortunately, our veterans were kind of left out in the cold on that.
The Division of Elementary and Secondary Education data for Arkansas says 76% of teachers stay at their current schools. Districts in the Ozarks are showing a teacher retention of 80% or above, and the Mississippi River area districts in the southeast showing the lowest retention for teachers.
But having professional respect can go a long way to helping someone be motivated to stay in a career. And when they find it somewhere else, folks will leave.
Our staff, our students that really enjoy that 4-day work, and the teachers see a lot of benefit to it too.
Even with staff ready to go at the Green Forest School District, there are still needs.
There definitely are still some, a lack of teachers in the state for sure. If you want to get your foot in the door in education, being a special ed teacher is probably a good way to get started on that.
Along with luring homegrown educators.
And we get a lot of our alumni come back and teach here. Quite a few of our administrators here are alumni of the district. So the people are very proud to be in this district.
And in classrooms across Arkansas, a teacher trained in one area may be teaching a different subject.
We still have a lot of teachers that do have to go back and take additional tests or additional classwork to get to the area that we want them to be trained in to teach and be certified in. That is still a need within all districts that I'm seeing around the state.
No matter what, teachers and administrators know.
The school is the cornerstone of the community, where we spend the time growing as a family, not just through blood, but as a community family. And it certainly does take a village to literally raise the future of America.
Well, the teacher shortage could continue nationwide. According to a recent study, just 12% of teachers are satisfied with their jobs, and more than 4 in 10 teachers admitted they were likely to leave their job within 2 years. Well, Minecraft fans appear to have built up the golden arches. McDonald's is reporting quarterly sales growth of 2.5%, thanks in part to meal deals tied with the Minecraft movie. It was the restaurant chain's largest marketing campaign in company history, and it appears to have paid off, reversing McDonald's slump from the last 2 financial quarters. In addition to launching a kids' Happy Meal with movie-themed toys in March, the chain also featured a movie tie-in adult meal. The film, a Minecraft movie, grossed nearly $1 billion worldwide. Up next, the Quapaw Nation hopes to open doors and minds with a scholarship workshop guiding hopeful students through the maze of applications. And need help finding and applying for scholarships? The Quapaw Nation Higher Education Department is holding free scholarship workshops where participants learn how to search and apply for scholarships both in person and virtually through Teams. Many students find the scholarship process challenging to navigate due to complex requirements and competition, making workshops like these a valuable resource for guidance and support.
So schools will be very upfront with you about this, what tuition costs, this is what books are going to cost, those kind of things. But they don't necessarily talk about this is what it costs to drive your car back and forth. This is what gas prices are where we live. This is how much laundry costs and things like that.
Dean Hall wrote a book called College Unpacked, and he's giving a copy to everyone who attends one of the workshops. The next session is scheduled for August 20th from 6:30 to 7:30 at the Quapaw Nation Community Building. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. A major shakeup in U.S. vaccine policy and why the government is pulling millions in funding, what it means for the future of mRNA technology. That's coming up. And pressure is mounting as calls grow louder for the government to release everything it knows about Jeffrey Epstein.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KWAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Department of Health and Human Services is cutting $500 million in funding for vaccines. RFK Jr. says he's following the science, but his critics say he's playing politics. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson has more from Washington.
mRNA technology poses more risks than benefits.
HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. announcing another big shift to America's healthcare policy. More than $500 million in funding for vaccine research and development has been pulled. Most of the cuts are for vaccines that protect against COVID and the flu. RFK says the government is moving away from the mRNA technology used to create those shots.
Right now, we're developing a universal vaccine at NIH, which is a vaccine that addresses the entire phylum of viruses.
Kennedy says mRNA vaccines have been linked to heart issues in young men and aren't effective against diseases like COVID. But most doctors say those claims aren't true, and future pandemics will be harder to stop without the help of mRNA.
We are just inundated with bad information, candidly. Completely false, and then people spread it thinking it's true and becomes misinformation.
The funding cuts put the biggest pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and Moderna in a tough spot. They could keep developing mRNA vaccines on their own, but if HHS doesn't recommend them, they likely won't be covered by insurance. And experts say that could drive down vaccination rates even further.
We may need to look to different physician groups to get those recommendations. It's all very unfortunate, but that's kind of the reality that we're in right now.
The announcement comes less than a week after a new report showing kindergarten vaccination rates are declining because of a rise in exemptions. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Well, President Donald Trump imposes an additional 25% tariff on India. The new tariff follows Trump's previous 25% tariff on Indian imports. Now, the White House calls the new tariff a necessary and appropriate punishment for India's imports of Russian oil. This action is the president's first use of so-called secondary sanctions on countries the U.S. says are fueling Moscow's war machine. The Wednesday announcement came hours after Trump's foreign envoy, Steve Witkoff, concluded a meeting in Moscow with Russian President Vladimir Putin. An early Epstein accuser speaks out about the government's handling of the case of the late accused sex trafficker. This as White House officials reportedly hold a strategy session tonight. Fox News' Connor Hansen reports.
When I see it on the news every day, Jeffrey's in my brain, and I see him again and again.
Another alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein says she filed a police report against him in 1997. Alicia Arden gave her thoughts as the government weighs whether to release audio and transcripts of Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's two-day interview with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell should not be pardoned. She was convicted of sex trafficking of children.
Maxwell was recently moved from Florida to a lower security prison in Texas. How to handle the government's Epstein evidence could come up at a reported meeting of White House officials Wednesday. It comes after Congress sent subpoenas to the Justice Department for all of its Epstein files and to some high-profile former government officials. Meanwhile, members are getting an earful from constituents during their summer recess.
Why are you covering up the Epstein files?
I am for the release of those records.
A recent Fox News poll shows 2/3 of Americans do not think the government is being open and transparent about the Epstein case. Transcripts of the DOJ meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell could reportedly be released as early as this week. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Lindsay's next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, band camp.
Carthage High School starts its band camp. I'm Lonnie Walton in Carthage. I'll have that story coming up.
Arts.
We had a few showers earlier this afternoon. It did cool us down a little bit right when we get into the high of the day, but the rest of the evening is looking fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We do still have some slight gusty winds now, 10-15 miles per hour, nothing too crazy. And then we're heading into a pretty nice overnight hours until tomorrow morning. Now, today we got up to about 94, so mid 90s, slightly above average. Our low 70s, right on par, but a little, maybe a degree or two above average as well. Now, we're going to continue to heat up. Thursday and Friday being our hottest day on the forecast, which means we're going to start to see more heat advisories popping up. But right now we only have Nowata and Washington County out there in Oklahoma. Now likely we'll see more heat advisories popping up in southeastern Kansas for Thursday. Now these are extended all the way until Friday, so by Friday we'll see more along the Missouri side and Arkansas side as well. Now, currently, got a few clouds that are still making their way across I-49 and then moving out towards the east. The rest of us, clear skies. Again, that is until tomorrow morning when we start to see a few showers popping up by 5 a.m. So this is 7. Widespread showers in southeastern Kansas, maybe making it out to Nevada and then Monette as well, and then to the east of Joplin. Now, Joplin's also going to see some of these showers from about 5 to 8 a.m. A few more start to push down through the mid-morning hours, 9, 10, and even to 11 a.m., but all clearing out by noon. Could see a couple more pop-up storms in the afternoon out there in the west, so that's southeastern Kansas. And then we're looking good for Friday. However, we do have more rain chances starting on Saturday. You can see pop-up showers, pop-up storms throughout the day and evening on Saturday. Not looking at a severe threat, but those are just going to be very isolated, and then showers overnight. Now heading into Sunday morning, we do start off pretty cloudy. Sunday evening, that front starts to approach overnight and into Monday. That's going to cool us back down. But until then, we do still have high temperatures and high heat index values, which is what it feels like outside. Now, for Thursday, the reason we may not see as high heat index values on our Missouri and Arkansas side, those showers that linger a little bit longer out in the Missouri side through Thursday early afternoon, keeps us a bit cooler, but adds humidity to the Kansas and Oklahoma side, driving up that heat index. Now the actual temperature is going to be in the mid 90s, but it's going to feel like upper 90s Missouri side and low hundreds on the Kansas Oklahoma side. Then getting into Friday, everybody is above 100 heat index from 102 to 107. So we have a very high heat index value for Friday. High temperatures too, up to 99, maybe even pushing up to about 100. Now those storm chances Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday cools us back down to average, 92 Monday, 90 on Tuesday, then warming right back up.
Okay, well, we're not looking forward to that warm up, but
not at all.
It's August. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, still ahead, Pitt State showcases their uniforms for their whiteout game this season. We'll take a look at those coming up. And Missouri Southern State football begins their fall football practices today. We're going to hear from the team next.
The end of August cannot come fast enough for football fans, with games being played this month. But before the action on the gridiron begins, Wednesday morning marked the start of Missouri Southern State's fall preseason camp. As the Lions prepare for their season opener in just over 3 weeks, one thing that will stand out about this year's roster is their depth. After battling through injuries last year, the focus for the coaching staff this offseason was to get deeper across the field. And while recruiting and the transfer portal are key in college sports, head coach Atiba Bradley credits the team's returning pieces more than anything else.
We've had much better success with our retention with these last 2 classes, and so now we're looking up, and you've got a senior, you've got a redshirt junior, and you've got a two true sophomores. And that doesn't happen overnight, you know, and so it's taken us a couple years to find our groove, but retention is up, and so as a result, depth is much improved.
After last season, the Lions wanted to address the culture surrounding the program, and for the players during their off-season workouts, the focus was on discipline, with an emphasis on putting 100% effort into everything you do.
Missouri Southern's beat Missouri Southern for too long, especially in the last 4 years that I've been around. That's what I've noticed is, you know, we can't have penalties that are just random, and we can't have personal fouls. There's nothing like that. When it comes to weight room, Coach Dredge has done the ability to, you know, establish that discipline. Like, there's no shortcuts. There's no, hey, you're not going to do this just because you don't want to. No, it's like, hey, you're going to do it because I told you to do it, and that's the discipline, and that's what's going to show up on the field.
Discipline and culture is a 24-hour deal. I'm only around these guys, you know, 8 hours a week. I'm only around these guys, you know, in the summer I can't be around them at all, basically. And so it's really your Dimitri Lloyds, your Trace Wilhites, your Draper Parker, your Zach Bergmans, your Colton Basses. These guys that have been in our program 4 or 5 years now understand what it takes to get to the level of competition that we want.
On August 30th against Midwestern State. This morning, Pitt State released their uniforms for their whiteout football-themed game on their home opener on September 13th with a historical twist. When the Gorillas take on Ferris State in the Jungle, they'll be honoring legendary coach Carney Smith along with the 1957 and 1961 national championship teams. The stripes on the sleeves of the jersey commemorate the 1957 championship squad, with the number on the helmet representing the 1961 national champs. But they weren't done there, as a patch on the front features an honoree towards the legendary coach and teams. But don't forget about the gorilla on the helmet either, as Pitt State will be looking good for their home opener. The Joplin Outlaws are back in the Mid-America League Championship Series after defeating the Texarkana Rhinos in their semifinal matchup on Tuesday. Tonight, they will find out their opponent, as the Sherman Shadowcats and the Abilene Flying Bison battle to face the Outlaws in that championship series. Joplin is combined 17-4 against these two teams this year. And this one is going back and forth in a tight matchup. Flying Bison just tied the game at 4 in the 6th inning. The Royals and Cardinals are wrapping up their respective series on Wednesday before getting an off day tomorrow. Starting with the Cards, they finished a 3-game set against the Dodgers in LA with a rubber match for the series. And the Redbirds come away with a big series win over the Dodgers, coming from behind to pick up a 5-3 win. Jordan Walker had a big day for the Redbirds, going 3 for 5, knocking in the game-tying and winning run in the 8th inning. Cardinals travel back home for a weekend series against the Cubs. Kansas City finishing up their series in Boston, avoiding the sweep with a 7-3 win over the Red Sox. It was the bottom third of the KC order that led the way. Kyle Isbell had a 2-run single, then Jonathan India cleared the Green Monster for a 3-run homer. Michael Wacha paced them as well, tossing a quality start, giving up only 2 runs in 6 innings as the Royals head to Minnesota for 3 games this weekend on a high note. That's it for sports. We're back with more after this break.
Music is starting to fill the air as local high school bands prepare for the upcoming school year. KOAM's Lonnie Walton caught up with the Carthage High School Band, which says it plans to start the semester on a high note.
I just really like the music this year. It's more like upbeat, I feel like.
Adriana Patrick is a senior band member at Carthage High School. She's held this love for band since childhood.
Since I've had siblings in it above me, I've got to do the marching show with them. I really enjoyed just getting to meet all the new people.
A lot of new people is exactly what Carthage band instructor Jennifer Sager says is happening this year.
Last year we grew quite a bit, from about the 120s to 144-ish. And then this year we've come up with 176 students in our band.
The band practices on a block schedule for 2.5 hours. It's all for a busy lineup.
We go to 4 competitions ourselves, and the 4 weekends before Maple Leaf, and then we host Maple Leaf.
So what is the biggest challenge?
Probably just having to memorize everything, because we have to memorize the music. We have to memorize where we're moving.
Wrangling 176 kids is also quite a feat, but...
And that heat.
Yeah, so the weather, it does get really hot.
Lots of water, lots of hydration.
And the goal is to win those competitions and, of course, have a lot of fun. Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Sager says the school takes students' health seriously during these extreme temperatures. She says a local fire truck sprays them with water just to help keep those temps down. Up next, Lady Gaga leads the pack. Teen Love gets complicated. And a best-selling book hits the big screen. We've got your inside look in Hollywood Nation. From emotional family fallouts to teen love triangles, Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
I mean, what else could it be?
No. A family drama, teenage tension, and a pop icon are all in today's Hollywood Nation. The nominees for the 2025 MTV Video Music Awards have been revealed. Lady Gaga leads with 12 nominations, including Video of the Year, Artist of the Year, and Best Album. The 18-time VMA winner marks her third time topping the nominees list, following standout years in 2010 and 2020. Bruno Mars follows close behind with 11 nods, and Kendrick Lamar scored 10. The race for the most VMA wins in history continues, with Beyoncé and Taylor Swift both up for Artist of the Year once again. The ceremony airs September 7th on MTV and CBS.
Are you still with Alex? Because everybody's talking about it.
The love triangle at the heart of my life with the Walter Boys heats back up in today's first looks. Netflix dropped the trailer for Season 2 of the hit teen drama series. Jackie's return to Silver Falls shakes things up as she navigates tension with Alex, unresolved sparks with Cole, and her place in the Walter family. The show returns August 28th.
I just lost my dad and my aunt.
Allison Williams and McKenna Grace are a family torn apart by tragedy in the trailer for Regretting You. The new Colleen Hoover book-to-film adaptation features the duo as a mother and daughter forced to confront betrayal, buried secrets, and each other after a devastating accident. Dave Franco, Mason Thames, Scott Eastwood, and Willa Fitzgerald also star. The romantic drama hits theaters October 24th.
I'm not going to let their betrayal dictate the rest of my life.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a newborn bottlenose dolphin swimming with his mother at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.